Hello to all my patrons and the people who waited a whole year to see a video version of a podcast. Good on ya. It's been a long road getting from there to here. Today is the Poetry Slam episode. Bear with me because I have never done slam poetry. I have no history with it. And I'm pretty sure slam poems aren't 20 minutes, so we'll see how this goes. I can already feel my mouth getting dry because this one's going to be a bit of a challenge. We need a thumbnail, so let me look extra slam poety. One of these ought to work, right? What's a poet thing? Fists. There we go. Emotion. Yeah, sure. That's a good... all right. Time to get this thing on the road. Coming up on that 1 minute mark, so I know where I'm at. Is this thing plugged in? Better be. Gonna be a lot of hand gestures today. It doesn't have to rhyme. And this is where the theme song goes. Probably should have gotten a water. Too late now. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 86. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert will be stepping up to the mic next and speaking his truth. But first, housekeeping. I knocked the keyboard and I moved my script. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind the scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. The perfect coda, nope, that's a music term. Moving on, no new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is still holding at $1,501. Also, when we get to $2,000, we unlock an automatic show gimmick, which is... Sorry, needed to do that. I will watch all the Fast and Furious movies back to back and then record my podcast at the end. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $3,000? That's probably a terrible idea. Another terrible idea, starting it. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to slap my belly to the beat? I'll do it. $50. No new patrons this week, bummer. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So something I could talk about is Barbie. Barbie, for the love of Greta, Barbie. There's always something new to think about every time I see the Barbie movie, and I have so many thoughts and feelings, and I have plans to see it at least 3 more times. Want to know more? Donate today. A reminder, my ambient album Ethalog is out on all kinds of streaming services, so please go check it out, leave a review, tell your friends, etc., etc. Check the links in the description, and enjoy the album that I'm probably going to stop plugging next week for a very exciting reason. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got us another singles night tie. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is Westbrook, Maine. Congratulations, Westbrook, Maine. Let it be known that your Eric Carle Museum of Picture Book Art, Puffer's Pond, and the Moan and Dove Bar are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about Maurice, Louisiana, while doing it like a used car lot commercial. You can see video of the entire episode, including my ridiculous outfit, over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about spooky atmospheres approaching. Sorry. All right, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: do it like a sermon, re-record the episode with all the words in reverse order, record it next to a train crossing, and draw a comic strip Once again, that's number 1, do it like a sermon. Number 2, re-record the episode with all the words in reverse order. Number 3, record it next to a train crossing. And number 4, draw a comic strip. There are no returning gimmicks this time, but there will be soon. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, August 31st at noon Eastern America time. I've just now discovered that smacking the keyboard did mess up my script. Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is do it like a poetry slam. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way, in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. And let's get some snaps going as we enter the gimmick zone, and welcome to the stage, One Mix Bear Claw Billy! From this point on, gimmicks are active, and everything is improvised. There's no sponsored topic for today's episode, so I'll take inspiration from a randomized Wikipedia page, which is... way too short. Bear with me, my friends, my hungry, hungry artists, as I find something to talk about that's not a stub. All right. My friends, this poem is entitled KWYN AM. Radio, a kind of light. A wavelength inside of me, projected outward, trying to make connection to the people all around me in Wynne, Arkansas. I am the spirit of KWYN 1400 AM, a radio station licensed to Wynne, Arkansas, broadcasting classic country. But what is a classic country? Can any nation truly be a classic? Who was here first? What's the oldest? What are the origins of the beliefs and the things that we believe? Why are they tied to a piece of land, a mound of dirt, something we all walk on, and we all feel walked on? We are tread upon. But the one thing that can save us, music, live local sports programming, network news, agricultural market reports. I am here to cultivate, to farm, to pull from the living earth what is needed to make this truly a classic country, a great country, but not in the way that an orange fascist might come in and claim to have the right ideas. To have the right idea, we're all part of this together. We're all flitting through the air like a signal. We're all transmitting, but we're all also receiving. Think back, September 28th, 1956. KWYN AM increasing from 250 watts to 1,000 watts. Two visionaries, Raymond O. Budd and Hannah Rayleigh, born and raised in Paragould, Arkansas, founded KWYN, and they also found us. What is in our souls? What do we yearn for? The Yawn Patrol program. We boast, we brag, we have the longest running discussion show in the Mid-South and consistently rank among the top AM stations in the country. The office and studios are located in Wynne, Arkansas. Win or lose, it's all how you play the game. And then we throw it over to sports. This is where the informational window closes. And now, data, information, we leave it behind. We're now transmitting from our hearts. We're finding something deep within. We're thinking about radio's place in our lives. Radio station, a home base where we find ourselves, where we center ourselves, where we are grounded. We find ourselves putting down roots like in an agricultural market report, but we also find ourselves spreading outward, sending out those wavelengths to the ears of those that we cannot see, we cannot touch, but we can feel. This just in, memories. Flooding with memories. Radio brings such happy memories of dancing in the living room to Johnny B. Good with your parents, first discovering oldies, songs for children you realize are actually covers of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, but if you haven't heard it, it's new to you. And so there you are, dancing on that shag carpet. It's 1985. Wait, nope, you were just born. It's 1989, and you can walk and dance. And there you are. And music bringing a family together, a family that struggles to find those connections, but like those radio waves, bringing us all together, uniting under one sound on one common ground, a dance floor, a plane of existence, a place of being, a place to move, to shake, to find oneself on the inside and then project it outside, a dance partner across a crowded room, moving close to you, not to embrace, but to embrace the moment. This isn't a hug, it's a movement. And movement is what is compelling us to share our brief time on this ground, on this land, on this nation, on this country, on this planet. This tiny sliver of what we are given, but also must be taken. And so we take the dance floor by storm. We look around. We see all the people here just forgetting their problems and shaking their bodies. And that's what we need to make our way through this delicate and terrible existence of great beauty and great pain. Is there beauty without pain? Is there pain without beauty? Are we broken, and do we put ourselves back together to the beat, the thump, the sound? We are being pulled together by that 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 7, 8. It doesn't matter. 5, 6, 7, 8. We are moving to the sound. And what is it? It's simply vibration. Light is what brings the sound to us. Light and sound, light and vibration, waves, wavelengths, waving across that crowded dance floor. But who brings us the music? The DJs. The DJs of the disc jockey variety. Stacks of wax causing panic attacks? No. Taking things away. Well, unless you are an anxious sort, which I am occasionally. But what am I really? We don't have time to go down that road because we're due on the dance floor. We have to shake it. There are wedding DJs. There are radio DJs. There are DJs on Roseanne. And television is another way that we find ourselves. We're all here struggling to connect, and all we can do is tell stories that are real, stories that aren't real, but in a way they are because they're shared. We have come together and we feed on these stories and this entertainment, but it is more than just to entertain. It is to give life. It is to breathe life into existence. That is what art is for. And spending too long dwelling in the heart or the head if you're watching the video version, you're laughing. And so, as we come together on the dance floor, acknowledging that we are all in this together. We are all in the club together. We are all coming together, and I am reminded of when I had a radio station, a radio show, back in college, trying to get an education, but also at the station, sending music across the nation. A bit of an exaggeration, forgive the adumbration, the foreshadowing of the podcast that I would one day have. That's kind of sort of like the radio show that I used to have, but it was different. Yes, friends, long ago there was a cave, a bear cave. That's right, I've had this nickname for far too long. But what's in a name, as the bard once mused? But I am more enthused talking about the radio show that I did, where every episode had a theme and all the songs had to fit that theme. Admittedly, I was at a point in my life where I was enjoying music as data. I would often pick songs with a color in the title, but I had no personal connection to those songs. And once again, we return to connection, connecting with others. Admittedly, I have trouble connecting with other people when it comes to music. I'm not a fan of bands. I like more singular works, like really pouring out of someone's psyche into my ears. Not that bands are a bad thing, and I like plenty of them, but I've just never really been into, like, rock, and maybe that sounds strange. Jazz, funk, soul, I like those kinds of bands, but I'm never going to be there for your pop punk whatever. But these struggles are not singular. I have other friends who go against the grain, so to speak, aren't sure what's popular. You like what you like. 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 And this is a truth that cannot be denied, and it would be foolish to try to be someone else. So why try to like what someone else likes when you don't? And this is an important thing to remember when interacting with your fellow humans. Probability shakes us up, spits us out, leaves us here on the floor to dry in the hot sun. And all we can do before we become shriveled up husks is to dance. Join hands and dance. You don't have to like every song, but you've got to try to get along. You've got to take a handhold, and you've got to wear a blindfold and just listen. Listen. Shut everything else out. Get ready to scream and to shout. Bring the sounds into your ears and let them wash away your fears. Everything is music, as Bjork once said, probably in a sketch from SNL, because I don't have a lot of information in my head. But any sound can be music, and this is always my approach when it comes to making music. When I want to craft a tune, I'm not thinking in terms of chords and music theory. I am simply saying, I enjoy this. This sound I enjoy. How can I make myself enjoy it more? That's where I start. That's where I end. And I hope that you will pre-order my album, friend. Next week, I'll tell you all about it. And so, it's almost time to sign off and let the next person take over. But whether you're Frasier or Dr. Johnny Fever, your time on the radio, your voice, your message gets out there. What have you got to say? Is it time to get off the mic? Is it time for me to get off the mic? Is it time to rap? Is it time to go to commercial? What do we do? What do we do when it's only been 15 minutes and we have very little else to say about KWYN? I could talk about WQEF 98.6, The Southern Breeze, a radio station that is very real in my heart, but is very unreal to what we consider reality. Because I am a little bit obsessed with radio stations and how they're not for people like me, and radio hosts have never been relatable people to me. But alas, still struggling for connection. There's a commonality in this reality. Everyone coming together and molding what we are. What is the average? What is the middle, the median, the mode? What is the normal human being? What is normal? Should we blow up normal? Should we shatter it and scatter it amongst the airwaves? What do we do? In this age of connectivity, we've never been more connected, but also never more alone. I'm proof of that as I talk to myself in my room every week. But you're there to receive it. And as you receive it, that's when I believe it. I believe that humanity is good, and I believe that humanity can find the best in everything. Even if you don't like the song, you can still dance for a little bit. As always, sorry, folks, sometimes it's a short one. Let me tell you what, doing improv for one and having nobody to jump in, you try it sometime. Yeah, that was a rough one. I was really hoping for something easier, but you know what? That's improv, baby. You get what you get. I had fun with that, though. That went in some interesting directions. Again, have never tried slam poetry ever. Even in my improv, I've never even done like a pastiche of slam poetry. So that was a brand new experience for me. I hope you had a fun time with it. Sorry it's a shorter episode this week, but Sometimes you just, you sense the steam running out and you don't want to push it. So yeah, fun times. Thanks for listening. And can't wait for that big announcement next week. If you follow my socials, you already know what it is. But I have a new album out!